Welcome back to the Resilience Pod, the podcast helping you become resilient in our world full of disruptions. I'm your host, Rina. Today's guest in the studio is extraordinary. His life is something that you would never have imagined before. The conversation is going to dive into the moments that define our life, our identity, our resilience, and what it truly means to navigate the world when life throws unexpected curveballs your way. It's honest, truthful, raw, and full of surprises. So let's dive in and welcome Matthew Bird to the Resilience Pod. Welcome.
Wow, no pressure. Well, no pressure. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Lovely to be here. I'm so glad you're here. Now, when you told me about your story and sent me the details, on the rare occasion, I have been speechless. And this is it. So really, genuinely, thank you for sharing this to a global audience, if not more. So we're going to start at the beginning, Matt.
Sure.
Because we need to give some context, right? And without giving too much away, I want you to kind of tell me in your own words, like your story, it started when you were a baby. So talk to me about that and how does that start? And then I'll go into the rest of the questions.
Straight in.
Yeah, straight in. Yeah.
I like it. So I guess there's a bit of messaging from today that I really want to get out of it, but let's just start from the start. So, as you say, left in a pub, 8 months in a little cardboard box with, I guess, and I always think that was the start of my journey when I became really lucky.
Okay.
Not only was that sounds a bit odd, right? Left in a pub in a box, I was quite lucky, but I was lucky because where I ended up from there.
Right.
So I was kind of abandoned, but then landed on my feet with where I landed. And
look, we're going to go into that,
sure.
But I want to pause there because what you said is so heavy. Wow, I'm speechless. You being left or abandoned, as you said, like in a pub is just, I don't know what to say. But I mean, when was the moment that you wouldn't remember that being 8 months? Was it 8 months old?
Yes.
Being 8 months old. How and when did you come to realize that this is what happened to you?
I guess my mum and dad left it a number of years before I was able to understand. So probably not until I would say 8, 10, 12 maybe.
Okay.
When the story was properly explained to me, but also with them, I was around in an environment when other children would come and go. So I knew it was a little bit different to a usual childhood. But,
okay.
Yeah.
How do you, again, like it's very rare that I'm speechless and stumped and like, it's hard for me to ask you the questions. I can't imagine how hard it is for you to actually share this, but how do you understand that moment? Just sticking on the being abandoned at 8 months. How do you understand that situation now? And I know we're going to dive a little bit deeper into a bit more around the context of this. So just very briefly, how does it make you feel? How do you understand that moment today as you are in this studio right now? I guess
I've come to terms with it. I imagine that my biological parent was in I just became a dad myself last Christmas. So December the 18th. So for them to actually leave a child is kind of, they must have been in a really bad place. So I think I've kind of come to terms with that in a way. So it makes me feel a little bit sad, but also lucky at the same time.
Lucky. And I like that you say that because you're not using that as a kind of, I've known you since last year, a very short time, and I've not once thought, oh, actually you don't lead your story with that. Like it's very rare. I didn't even know about it until you messaged me and was like, is this going to be a good idea? So I want to go back to, you were talking about like you had foster parents and you talk quite openly about that. What did your foster parents give you that has made the biggest difference in your life?
So they're my mum and dad. So they're the people I call mum and dad, and always will. So they give me pretty much everything. So other children, I don't know if you want to go too much into that, but I guess security, a roof, kind of a family, all of the stuff that I guess you just want to give a child.
Yeah. The minimum of what they deserve, right? Yeah. Okay. Did you ever feel when you were growing up that you you were different to every other child, and question like if you belonged to that environment?
I guess from a young age, no, because it was such a normal environment, other than the fact they fostered other children.
Yeah.
So they fostered over 25 children.
Wow.
So children would come and go, and I would have a social worker too.
Okay.
And other than that environment, it was just very normal. I was called Matthew Bird and Birdie at school, and from a young age.
Yeah.
So no, it was just a very nice environment. And I think I knew that because when the other children would come and go, no one wanted to leave.
Okay.
So I was
like
I was left behind all the time in the same place. So it just felt like home.
I love that. It felt like home. And that's a very rare experience a lot of people have, right? Growing up in foster. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're not going to go into that loophole, that loophole on that. But I want to talk about, did at any time when you were, when you came to find out when your foster parents, or we're going to refer to them as your parents because they are your real parents.
Yeah.
They told you that this had happened, you were left, and then they came to you. After you heard that, how did you feel? Because you were what, 12?
Yes. Yeah. Well, actually probably earlier, because when we got to 12, my biological parents tried to get me back.
Right.
So that's the moment when we went to court, and I was pretty much put in front of a judge and asked what I wanted. So I was at an age where you could say that I could make my own decision, even if it wasn't 16 or a legal decision. But so before that, it was probably a little bit more well known to me.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to me about all these years later. You're thriving in your family. You know, getting cold birdie, going through school, having living your best life as you know it, and your biological parents come into the picture. Talk to me about like how that happened, the emotions you felt in a bit more detail.
I guess it's kind of, and everyone asks the same question, like, would you want to find your real parents, and are you intrigued about your real parents? And I'm just completely the opposite, because I have real parents and I just owe them. So actually, when I found out that they were interested and they wanted me back, it's a bit of nervousness, a bit of scaredness. Is my life going to change? Am I going somewhere different? But I guess in trepidation. But then that's where I guess my mum and dad stepped up and said, no, actually, that's not happening. And I'm going to use the word resilience for the first time today, right? So, and that's when they were just like, no, we're going to be resilient in keeping this child. So it's kind of after that moment, I would say, before that moment, I was indebted to them, but I always will be. So, and I think strangely, they have 2 daughters. Okay. Natural. Yeah. And I'm closer to my mum and dad than my sisters. So, which is unusual, I guess.
Just because they've spent that fight throughout your whole life trying to keep you, right? Exactly. Yeah. Through that time when your biological parents tried to kind of get custody back of you again, what emotions, do you remember the emotions that you were going through? I know you're quite young then.
Still young.
You're still yes, that's not a question,
really
but you're
young.
very, very young then.
Yeah,
do you remember?
It's just first time I've been to court. I don't think any child at 10 or whatever it was, 12 should go to court.
Yeah.
So I guess I just didn't want to leave. And it didn't feel like an environment that was stressful or anything like that. So actually being put in a position where that might change was, pretty dramatic. So.
Well, things work out for the best, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's a tough upbringing, but actually when on the outside, when someone thinks about what you've gone through, everything you've just said right now, it feels very like heart-wrenching, but you're sitting there like here, very matter of fact about it, and you've come to terms with it. You're very open to sharing this story, and your parents are your parents. And I love that there's these 2 people who have given Matt the resilience that he needs to navigate this life. Really brilliant. So I guess this episode can be dedicated to them partly as well, right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool. Now, I want to talk about resilience in practice, because you did mention it. And in some of your articles that you've written, especially on LinkedIn, you talk about rhino skin. What does that mean? Rhino skin. Yeah. So I guess the rhino skin in my life, I'm in sales. People like, we speak outside of this pod, but people like us and in sales, I think it's key that they develop rhino skin. in a way that we're used to having no's, and we're used to being, I don't know, we're low priority in a high priority world, because resilience is important. And actually getting that message through is harder than what we do and how we help people. So I used to be office furniture, selling stationery and furniture, tables like this. But because of that, I was knocking doors and cold calling, and I'd have to hit 100 doors a week and things like that. So there was 99 no's in that 100 door presses. So that, for me, I think every salesperson should go through that and develop that rhino skin.
And I like that you called it rhino skin. Is there a particular reason why?
No, I just figured that it might be tough.
And rhinos are
I could have picked a different animal, but rhino sounded good.
Yeah, big, bold, will not take no for an answer. Hey, is that a typical salesperson tactic or what?
Don't get me wrong, I hate salespeople myself. So
You're a salesperson yourself.
I know, I can't say that. I can't say that right. But I always try and sell on a relationship, because this is who I am and because I harbour that relationship from an early age. And I'm thankful. So I'll always try and sell on that side of things, rather than the rhino charging the door down.
Yeah. But then it's about keeping up with the no's, which I like when you say that. Now, up until your 8 months, up until this time where you're doing sales, you've coined rhino skin. What has been the most pertinent moment in your life that has tested your resilience up until this point, that you are consciously aware of?
It's a good question. So there's probably two, and you know them both. The first one, 2013, got diagnosed with cancer. So that's going to be a test. So one of the messages today really for people is around awareness and help, and because it's not the end, I'm proof. So it isn't a death sentence. Now I'm very aware that for people, 1 in 2, I think now, are affected, and throughout your family, you're going to be affected by this. So I guess it's just living proof that it isn't the end if you're diagnosed, and actually kicking men up the backside to go and get themselves checked, because we're quite ignorant as men to actually go and visit a GP. So if you do find anything wrong, get yourself there. So probably that would be the biggest test because I'm a glass half full kind of guy. So that's the biggest test. That'll be it.
Yeah. And I want to dive a bit deeper into that, if that's okay with you. And you've obviously survived this. This has been the biggest thing that's tested your resilience. Can you talk to me about when you first were diagnosed and how you felt, the emotions you were feeling? How did you navigate that? But first of all, it's quite a logical question, but talk to me about, flashback to that moment that you found out.
So I play rugby, played for 20, I'm retired now because I'm old. I
thought you were young.
I am young.
Old.
I've got the body of a 90-year-old. I played for 23 years, kind of 500 games. And I think part of the tough man, rhino man skiing image is that we don't go and get checked. And I probably I had testicular cancer. So I noticed a change and I left it, and I probably left it in my own admission 3 months, 3 to 4 months. And I just thought, you know what, it's not normal. So I went to the GP December the 9th, 2013. And within an hour, I was in the hospital having an ultrasound after the visit to the GP. So I'd gone straight, he'd sent me to, and then he was quite clever because he just said, I'll take this letter to the hospital, Matt. And I took it in and they looked at it and said, come with me. It was kind of a busy A&E department. And I was like, okay, well, this is you go in normally with a broken leg and you're there for 6 hours. Yeah. And I was like, well, this could be interesting. And then within that half an hour, I was having an ultrasound, and then they didn't really say the words, but they gave me a leaflet and said kind of dealing with cancer. And then you're kind of thinking, oh, okay, now what? And then I literally had the operation, well, what did I say, the 9th? So the 13th.
Oh gosh, that quickly. Okay.
It was game on from there.
And what support system did you have? Did you have a support system other than your parents at this point?
Yeah. Obviously, mum and dad, wife. Then we literally got together that year. So we got together in the March, whereas I was diagnosed in the December. And I remember saying to Jane, listen, this is quite heavy. We're quite young. We're quite new into this relationship. If you want to skedaddle, like if you want to go, just go. I've got baggage. But no, she was going nowhere. So she was as resilient as my other
true
support
love.
network. Yeah, that's it, right? Romantic.
Yeah, it is. But that is the definition of true love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
she was like, I'm going nowhere. So I had her. I was still living with my mum actually at the time. So we were making that work. So I had a hotel really with B&B. So my mum was cooking and Jane was nursing. But actually, because I'd been, and 3-4 months is quite early to detect cancer. And I'm quite lucky.
Yeah.
Many people would live with cancer and not really know.
Yeah.
Mine was kind of external. So I noticed changes and I went. And I would say on that if you're, as a man, experiencing pain or obvious discomfort in that region, you're probably okay, because I had no pain. It was just a physical change.
Okay.
So, but lucky, because as external, I could notice.
Yeah.
And I went, and I think that's quite above average timeline.
Yeah.
And because of that, I haven't needed anything else. So there's no chemo, no radio, no nothing. So although I've been told the words and I've had cancer, now I'm in remission as it is classed, I do feel a bit of a fraud, slightly, just because.
why is that?
Just because I have friends, stage 4, stage 5, cycle after cycle of treatment and absolutely being hammered in their bodies.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like thinking, well, yeah, I've had it. And I guess fraud and also lucky. There's that word again. Lucky.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think everybody who's watching or listening will agree with me that is, your experiences aren't fraud. They're valid. I guess you're also valid to feel that way, because in life there are people who are have way worse experience than what we have. But really, it's a reassurance and a friend saying, and all our audience, you will agree with me, saying that actually your experiences are valid, and you're just very humble in the sense to kind of say that actually this wasn't as bad as what other people have gone through. But your experience, that's hard going. You've had some hard obstacles thrown your way with this. How did you navigate surviving? I know you've kind of said this, that you feel like a bit of a fraud because you didn't have to go through all the like harsh things that other people have, but you still had it. You're in remission.
Yeah.
Does that still affect you today, emotionally and physically?
No, other than some very friendly banter from my friends about my condition. Which I have more nicknames than most now, but no, not at all really. I used to have kind of nightmares about it spread everywhere, and especially when you're waiting for, because there's a bit of a wait when they take the tumour away and to see how it is. And obviously it was cancer. And there is that wait, and I got the recurring dream of it spread. It's the doctor telling you that it's everywhere and it's kind of a death sentence and all that kind of stuff. So that happened for probably a few months. I wouldn't say up to a year, I don't think, but there's that. But no, I genuinely think, touch wood, we've been good, and the NHS, let's give them a shout, because they get a bad rep. And I just think there's men that can be better, but the NHS are just resilient in those situations because they are just on it when they need to be on it. And every 3 months to start with, I was CT scans and chest x-rays and blood tests, and they're just very thorough. And I saw that as a kind of a nice MOT. I had a service. If I was a car, I had a service every 6 months, which now I don't. It went up to about 5 years, and then after that,
you don't need to.
I am good.
Yeah, but then you've learned in this whole process that you've saved yourself by actually taking that first step to go to the doctor as well. Yes, so all the people behind that have saved you as well, but you are the first person that has saved yourself in this. So incredible.
Well, Dr. White, Barton.
Yeah, shout out.
Barton GP, Barton Practice. Yeah, he's the man. Yeah. So he kind of saved my life really, because he was like quite calm and just said, take yourself off to hospital. I'm sure it's all right.
Yeah.
That was that. So doctors really enjoy telling you everything's okay in the end. So I think the doctor, and that's a good message. I think if you are worried or concerned, they do really like to tell you that everything's all right. So, and it's good to hear.
It's good to hear. Yeah. I guess it's like the mindset you have to, that's resilience in action, and your mindset has to shift a lot. Did you feel like you had to really talk to yourself, especially with the reoccurring dreams, talking to yourself, making sure you're okay? You know, were there moments where you thought, oh gosh, like I can't deal with this?
Yeah, sure. And we have like, I can hear now, I think you've met Chris once, my boss, and we have like personality and strength tests and things like that. And the last ones, actually, we've just done some. We were in Lisbon for work last week. Great city if you get to go. But we had some of mine were positivity actually, and things like that, which came through, which I liked. But then the first time around we did them, one of them was sensitive. So I was like, and then obviously I had a little bit of grief about being sensitive for my work colleagues. But so I think actually being resilient and putting on a brave face, I think you can still be vulnerable too. And reach out and ask for help, because that's always a good angle. Yeah,
and you're doing that right now by sharing your story, and that's quite hard to do. Not everyone can go around and saying, I've been through all this stuff. We've got more coming, but that's, really a testament to you. I like how you didn't like to be called sensitive, but that's probably the thing that makes you the most resilient if you think about it.
Yeah, so, I think I am sensitive, really.
Yeah.
Just don't tell the rugby lads.
No, I won't tell them. And I think for your personality, like when we first met, at conference, very vibrant, outgoing, and it just goes to show that, well, first of all, we should never judge anyone by just the exterior and what's going on, but you really don't know what's going on in someone's life and what they've been through. And just on reflection, I feel that we were supposed to connect that day. It was very random, was not expecting to meet like a sales guy, especially like then stay in touch all these months. And it was just like we were meant to meet each other so you could come and share your story and give the platform, I think.
I like it. That's deep.
It's deep, very deep.
I wasn't just hassling you for a
sale,
customer. Well, that's nice, because I don't want anyone, because that's the hardest part of my job, really.
Yeah, it
is speaking to someone without thinking, oh God, they're doing a sales pitch, because I'm not.
No.
If you've got a need, we can talk further. But actually, no, I just like I like meeting people.
Yeah. And, the unexpected friendships form from that, I think. That's why you're sitting here. I love that. Now, Matt, this is incredible. You've been through so much from such an early age. And I want to touch on something else that you've quite openly spoken about, which we want to shout out to your wife, your Jane and daughter. And I want to talk about love. IVF, and it's not something we really talk about on the Resilience Pod. It's very like business resilience, personal resilience, but this is your story on personal resilience, and you've mentioned it quite openly that you've met your partner and she's been with you through thick and thin. How has that relationship shaped who you are today?
She's made me more organised. I lost a bit of weight, but actually she's kind of just behind every man is a strong woman. Right? I mean, that saying is very true. I think in my wedding vows, I said something like, I'm going to wear the trousers in the house, but Jane will tell me which ones I can put on. So I think that's pretty much how it's been. So yeah, just that. She's constant, basically. She's a constant strength.
I love that. Big shout out to her.
Yeah, big shout.
Yeah. Now I want to talk about fatherhood, because you mentioned very early on that you're a dad. I love that. And we're going to go deep into this. But before you became a dad, you've had another challenge of getting there. Talk to me about those challenges.
And this is something that I think needs to be shared more, because this is so much more common than people know. But actually, I get why it isn't, because it's so hard. So IVF, so we were trying for a child and we didn't know if it was complications with me, but that seemed all okay. Jane was okay, test after test. So we were just like, it's just unlucky. And people don't know how lucky they are to have children. Some people could only, and we won't go into too much detail about how children are formed, but some are, and it's a horrible word, isn't it? Some are a mistake, or some are, it's very rare. And they just come along, and it's a natural progress in a relationship for people to be, you'll get with someone and they're like, when are you getting married? Yeah. And you get married, and like, when are you having children? It's just, when are you moving? And like, it's just a constant question. And people ask that without knowing if you can have children, if you want children. And we really did. And I wanted to give a child that background that I'd had, and that strength, and that home, and that kind of love that my parents had given me. So I was kind of, we tried for years. What did I say? 2 or 3 years maybe. And just nothing was happening. And then there's pressure. And then you get questions. Oh, just relax.
That's the most unhelpful advice ever. Like, it's almost positively toxic, right? Yes, go on, carry on.
Yeah, sorry, I've upset you there. Just relax, like take your time, like go out for a drink, just forget about it. And we tried everything, so it's just not meant to be. And then obviously we're like, let's just have a look at the IVF route, and that's when we started our journey. And I guess again, I'm sat here with. And it's easy for me to say, right, oh, it's all worked and it's great now. And I've got friends going through an IVF journey at the minute, and it's just not working. And Lila was a 25% chance. So again, that word lucky is going to pop up. But the resilience, if you want me to, I don't know if you've got another question about this, but the resilience shown by Jane and anyone who's going through, ladies, women especially, through IVF, because men have it quite easy. We have the emotional battle, but physically, it's unbelievably demanding. Tests, checks, operations, procedures,
hormones,
the emotion. And then you're dealing with your hormones because you are changing your body. And then there's a wait. And then if it's unsuccessful, which it was for us, it's just devastating. So it's all of that mixed into one is why I think it's good to talk, but I understand why people don't
talk about it. It's almost a stigma, isn't it, that actually you shouldn't struggle to have children, and it should just happen. Well, for some, like you said, it does very naturally, but it's those people that have the struggles where you realize you're not alone.
Agreed. And I'm chatting to a good friend who's going through it now, and I feel, and not like, oh, we've lived it. It's so easy for people to say we've lived it, but when it's just not happening, you feel the whole world is against you. And there's so much social media now, you can't get away from it, because people splash their lives all over social media with photos of families and children and food. But actually, all you seem to see on the telly or when you're going through that is babies and children. And it's it's just a message to people. If you need to talk, those help, I guess, out there. And not just me, but I guess there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there is a lot of people.
My inbox is going to be
flooding with this. But, I think that's a valid point to share, Matt, it's quite nice to hear it from a male perspective as well, because I think women probably talk more about these things to other women, but it's very rare for a man to come on here and say this. It's going to be like blasted all over the internet.
Oh, gosh.
But you are looking at other people's highlights and you don't see the struggles in parenthood. So thank you for sharing that.
No, it's brilliant.
It's hard.
It has been hard, but it's the ultimate reward.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I can really attest, I really feel your pain. I have family members who've gone through that. I've been very open about sharing like my journey. It took me 3 years to conceive, me and my partner to conceive with no real issues. Yeah. We didn't have to go down IVF, but eventually when it comes, the hardships, the emotions, the resilience you have to face, and the seeing everybody else having something that you want is really hard. Not only just physically, but mentally too. So how do you keep going? Does that, between kind of your early years to this point, did you ever feel like just giving up?
Good question. How do I go from this? I wouldn't say so, but it's easy to sit here and say that now.
Yeah.
I guess there were times where, am I going to be pulled away from my family?
Yeah.
Am I going to die from cancer? Mm-hmm. Yes, I would say there's probably times where I've been really tested. I think losing dad, I lost dad 5 years ago, so that was tough.
Yeah.
I've been tested there. So, and then first time around with IVF not working, we actually had an egg frozen, which was successful. We were very lucky. So, there's tests for everyone, but you got to keep on keeping on.
I know. How do you keep going then? Because I think a lot of people who are watching us...
You've noticed I've got a lot of grey hair. So.
Yeah. Hey, so have I, mate. How do you keep going when you've, life knocks us down a lot. You have different experiences. You by far have faced a lot. What is your secret? How do you kind of wake up tomorrow and keep going despite everything?
Sport helped.
Okay.
I just, being social, being active. I played every sport really where I could. I was lucky, friendship, family, strength in that area.
Yeah.
Friends and family are just massive. So I guess people knowing and about your situation, but just being there if you needed them. I think that'd be the message. Get out, go for a walk, see things, do things.
Yeah, I like that. Don't be so. It's really hard to then like get into your box and like just hide away. But actually, going out and doing all these things has helped your own resilience. That leads us to reflections. And this is like some of the fun things I like to ask from a very loaded question. And you probably heard me ask some other guest on the podcast about this. But when you think of the word resilience, what does it feel like for you?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I'd say that I've been in a resilience world I've been selling GRC, so risk and resilience continuity, for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And you guys are crazy. People that I speak to day in, day out, who physically choose to live in the world of crisis, recovery, response, incident. And you choose to do that. And I think I'm really fortunate now to be in a position where I've got a background in a little bit of life resilience.
Understatement.
And now I get to actually help you guys on your journeys. So I think a very big plug to the article I wrote, but all roads that I've lived have kind of brought me here to work and do what I do on a daily basis, just seeing people who have chosen this profession. So I'd say my key takeaway and reflection from resilience is that people are mad to want to work in that industry.
So resilience to Matt feels like crazy mad. I love that.
Crazy people.
And I think you are the kind of perfect person to sell resilience or help people manage resilience, because personally you have lived through so much resilience, and you know what it takes to make a resilient person, because you are that definition. So really unique perspective you have on life there. Now, if you could speak to your 8-month-old self, what would you say to little Matt?
Little Matt?
Yeah.
I would say go with the flow. Just go with it. Everything will be okay. And I think that will probably be it, because it's an interesting start.
Yeah.
Also that it's definitely for my love of pubs and Guinness. So I would say you'll enjoy the ride. For sure. Now,
second to last question, because I do feel like I could quiz you loads, but let's not make it too intense. Being a father, has the way you be a parent kind of and how you act at things directly linked to your own upbringing? And now you've been lucky that you've been brought up in a loving, caring home. Does that impact the way you parent your daughter?
For sure, yeah. And if I could be, I don't know, a fraction of the parent that my parents were. Spoke about my dad. He was a fireman, 25 years in the service, got a long service medal from the Queen. My mum was a lollipop lady at the local school. So she was there like 25 years. So it's just perfect human beings, really. It's definitely shaped who I am. And if I could be just half of that parent, Lila will be very happy.
Oh, I'm sure she is. Now, final question before we go on to the wildcard question.
The wild card.
Would you change any of your experiences?
I don't think I would. I quite like that I'm just saying that no one else is interesting. I quite like that I've got an interesting story.
You have.
I quite like that. So, no, I don't think I would. I maybe change the cancer bit, because I don't think anyone should hear that news.
Of course.
Maybe change that bit.
Okay. But then that defines you.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It certainly is. It certainly has, like I said, given me a few more nicknames.
We won't share those. No. Listen, Matt, thank you so much.
No,
I know
pleasure.
It's not easy to come on and share this story, and I know you have written about it and you do talk about it, but it's very different being interviewed and sharing openly and surfaces emotions. So really, really grateful for that. I have the ultimate test for you now, where there is literally no preparation. And I'm going to open my Resilient by Design guest book, where in real life on this e-notebook, the last guest wrote a question for you, a wildcard question. Now, guys, you should know this by now, that every guest leaves a wildcard question. Matt will have his forward revenge in a little while. So the question, Matt, is, the wildcard question is, if you had to drop one mask you are still wearing today, what would it be?
What a question.
Yes, I'll repeat it again to give you a bit of time to think. If you had to drop one mask that you're still wearing today, what would it be?
So I'm a Gemini.
Okay.
So I don't do star signs. I'm not into the zodiac, but is that like almost two-faced?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I'm going to drop my two-face mask.
Yeah.
I'd say probably, my wife will agree with this, I'm a little bit dramatic in certain situations.
Okay.
Even though I seem quite calm today, I can be a little bit dramatic. So maybe a bit of drama. I should be a bit more chilled after everything that's happened. So I drop my dramatic mask.
Your dramatic mask, okay.
Yes, I will drop a mask dramatically. That's what I'm saying.
Now give me a bit of context to what you mean by that.
I'd say that in certain situations, I'm quick to be a little bit frustrated.
Okay.
If things don't, and I don't know if it's background or upbringing, but a little bit of frustration when things don't go quite right. First time. So it's probably a sporting upbringing too. Being okay at sport and finding things quite easy in a sporting environment.
Yeah.
When things aren't quite easy, I would say there's a bit of drama.
Okay.
Like a drama
that.
queen. Yeah.
I'll
drop my drama queen mask.
That's a very good answer. Very quick thinking, by the way, because when I read this question, I would have no idea how I would answer that. So really kudos to you for answering that wildcard question. Now you're going to get the opportunity to. I'm going to start a new page for you. So on here, I'm going to pass this book and close off. I want you to write your name, the today's date, and your question for the next guest. And guys, Matt doesn't know who the next guest is. So this will be a surprise. So he'll have to tune in to the next episode after his to find out what the guest answers his question. And so will you guys. So while I end off and thank Matt, I'm going to pass this over. Please write your wildcard question for my next guest. I'm so excited to hear what he said.
Okay.
Right, what he says now is all going to be revealed next time. So guys, Matthew, thank you so much for sharing your story on the Resilience Pod. And guys, thank you for tuning in. If you like today's episode, you know what to do. This is me, your host, with our guest Matt, signing off. Until next time, keep on investing in your resilience. Matt, you better write your question.
I better write my question.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I better write my question. Thank you though.
Yeah, no worries.
What's the date today?
28th Jan.
Okay.
Really excited to see what you write. This is the part where I get really like, oh, what are they going to say? Because even I don't know what Matt's going to ask the next guest. I think I might have to try and answer all these wildcard questions myself.
Okay. Mine's a two-part question. So
okay.
I don't know if you're going to have a female or a male guest. So I'm going to...
Okay.
There's a question for either.
Okay. I like that. Really well thought out. What can we ask both?
Yeah, you could actually.
Okay. Oh, this is a first two-part question. I love it.
You don't really write anymore. You're always typing on a keyboard.
Yeah, this is it.
Kind of forget how to write.
Right, this is you creating a part of your legacy for on the notebook and the podcast. So your handwriting is what we're looking for. He's probably got a salesman handwriting.
It's not a doctor's. It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. Okay.
Yeah, there we
Could
go.
you sign it for us, please,
Of course.
too? We have your autograph. Thank you so much.
No, that's
Let's
my
have
pleasure.
a look.
There we go. Are you going to read them now?
No, I'm just going to read them and it will be on the camera.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I love that. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Matt.
No,
it's been a pleasure.
It's been a really, really good fun.
Okay. Thank you.